brought to you by Kenneth Nugent. From the station that's on your side, this is News 12, First at 5.
Next, First at 5, a former bank CEO has been charged with siphoning money from clients out of Alec Murdaugh's bank accounts connected to his law practice. We'll have more on his court case. Plus,
this is a constitutional overreach, and I'm confident the courts will take care of it.
For the first time, we're hearing directly from Senator Lindsey Graham after his subpoena to talk about votes in the 2020 presidential election. But first, we have a hot and humid week ahead, and we are dealing with storms across the area. Riley, we saw the rain come down and come down hard right outside the window here at our studios.
Absolutely. Nice little decent downpour between Augusta and Aiken. We are tracking some showers and thunderstorms out there this afternoon. That likely will continue into this evening. Widely scattered at the moment. Nothing too widespread across the region, but we are tracking a decent little thunderstorm right over downtown Aiken. This is slowly moving east towards Wagner, and it actually could potentially be producing wind gusts between 40 to 50 miles per hour. They did just put out a special weather statement for that. So if you're in downtown Aiken, make sure you are staying inside away from windows. For us here in Augusta, our station is right there on the state line, and we got some moderate rainfall just outside of our studios. If you do have plans through this evening, just watch out for these hit or miss downpours across the area. We'll likely continue to be tracking at least some rain on radar across the CSRA through at least around 10 o'clock later tonight. Here's a current view just outside of our studios. Looks like the rain has slowed down traffic a little bit, so just take it easy on those roadways for the rest of this afternoon as this rain continues. We did cool off a little bit. We're down to 89 degrees right now in Augusta. Heat index still at 97 degrees, though, so very hot and humid. That will continue over the next several days. For this evening, now that we're seeing the rain, we're cooling off into the 80s, most likely bottoming out to the mid-70s heading into tomorrow. And then for the next several days, temperatures are only going up. Talk about some dangerous heat in the forecast in just about 10 minutes.
All right, thanks, Riley. New information this afternoon in the search for Simon Powell. Authorities say they will finish draining one pond by today, hoping to find his remains. This is one of 3 possible locations that they are combing through. Powell went missing 6 years ago, and so far 2 arrests have been made. The first was Stacy Welch, and then on Friday, police arrested Mitchell Lambert. Both Welch and Lambert have been charged with robbery, kidnapping, and the murder of Powell. First at 5, the Fulton County District Attorney has been disqualified from investigating alleged 2020 election interference by State Senator Burt Jones. This ruling today from a Superior Court judge. The judge said Fonnie Willis hosting a fundraiser for Jones's eventual Democratic opponent caused concern about her partiality in the case. She can still gather evidence and ask witnesses about Jones's possible involvement, but she cannot directly target him. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham says he still hasn't been subpoenaed in an investigation in Georgia into the 2020 presidential election. A Fulton County grand jury is looking into the 2020 election and his attempts to potentially overturn those results. Mary Green spoke with the senator today.
Fulton County prosecutors have said they want to talk with South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham about phone calls he made to Georgia's Secretary of State following the 2020 election. Graham has contended that those calls were part of his responsibility as the chairman at that time of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Here's what Graham said today when I asked him if he expects to testify soon.
Well, I read I was going to be subpoenaed. I've yet to be subpoenaed. I will go to Georgia if I ever get a subpoena. I have to go serve myself, I guess. But yeah, I will fight this.
Graham's lawyers had moved to void the subpoena, claiming as a member of Congress, he has certain immunity and protections from this state court order. A hearing had been scheduled on it last week in federal court in South Carolina. But before that happened, Graham's lawyers in the Fulton County District Attorney's Office agreed to move things back to Georgia. The senator's lawyers say they've been told Graham is neither a subject nor a target of the investigation. Their agreement to accept being served a subpoena in Georgia still allows them to challenge it, and Graham reiterated Monday that he would fight it.
I think this is a constitutional overreach, and I'm confident the courts will take care of it.
And if Graham and his lawyers do challenge a subpoena, it would have to come in Georgia, in Fulton County Superior Court or U.S. District Court in Atlanta. Reporting in Greer, I'm Mary Green.
Senator Graham is one of a handful of Trump allies the Fulton County DA has sought to compel to testify. Others include Trump's former personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani. Now to a possible possible high-profile subpoena, this one on Capitol Hill from the committee investigating January 6th. Jenny Thomas is a conservative activist and the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. The committee says she was in direct contact with members of former President Trump's inner circle that day. They sent a letter in June requesting her appearance. The first federal charges related to the Alec Murdaugh cases came down last week, but Murdaugh wasn't named in that indictment. Russell Laffitte, the former CEO of Palmetto State Bank, faces multiple federal fraud charges related to his role in managing bank accounts belonging to Murdaugh's law clients. The federal charges say Laffitte used his position to get money in the care, custody, and control of the bank. Two of his alleged victims say after their court cases, he loaned out their court winnings. Their attorney says that's when the scheme started to unravel.
And over the next 6-7 years, Russ Laffitte and Alex Murdaugh plundered their accounts for their own personal use. Well, when it came time when they were 18 to get their money, there was none there.
Laffitte's attorneys say they plan to fight the charges. New numbers say claims for unemployment benefits are at their highest weekly level since late last year. The U.S. Labor Department shows applications for unemployment insurance rose to 251,000 last week. So where did all the workers go? A Georgia Southern economic professor says nationwide, about 1% of the workforce chose not to re-enter the workforce after COVID. Now, that number might seem small, but it equals a few million people. Some industries, like the trades, for example, have been struggling to get workers since before the pandemic. So low unemployment has only increased the problem.
So they were not going to a technical school. They were not going to a college. They really didn't know what they wanted to do. So we have been seeking those students to try to put them in a position, not just to be a helper, but to have a career.
Experts believe this lack of workers, combined with a large demand for goods and services, is the main problem here. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham has officially announced a new bill called Let Experienced Pilots Fly Act. Well, the purpose of the law is to raise the age pilots can retire from 65 to 67. Senator Graham says baby boomers make up half of the airline pilot pool, and that means some 5,000 fully qualified pilots are being forced to retire. He says that puts a strain on the airline industry that, in turn, hurts small regional airports like the Greenville-Spartanburg Airport in South Carolina, or even our local airport, Augusta Regional.
What I'm trying to tell people, this problem is bad today. It's going to be a nightmare in the coming 2 years. By 2026, 14,000 pilots are going to be kicked out of the cockpit for no good reason, in my view.
And in 1 hour, the James Sweat Foundation starts their book bag giveaway. It starts at 6 o'clock in the Columbia County Exhibition Center. They'll be passing out around 250 book bags, but focusing on kids in the Grovetown and Harlem areas. So if you are in need, you'll want to get out there quick. Your favorite ice cream flavor, it might disappear from the store shelves forever. We'll explain just a moment, Riley.
Well, we are tracking some decent downpours between Augusta and Aiken. Here's a view from our Beach Island camera. Give you a look at radar just after the break.
Time and we all rise.
Take a look at that. A whale just jumped out of the ocean and landed on a small boat near Plymouth, Massachusetts beach. This happened yesterday morning. Amazingly, no one was hurt. There was no major damage to that boat, which, by the way, is only 19 feet. No one can even guess why this happened, but, I mean, sometimes crazy things happen. I mean, the boat was kind of in the whale's territory, right? Yep, all right. Now to this scary story out of Florida. A 70-year-old woman was stabbed by a 100-pound sailfish. Her friends were reeling it in when it jumped out of the water and impaled her with its bill in her groin area. Her friends were able to stop the bleeding and took her to a hospital. Okay, so last summer, this fish my family and I caught fishing in Costa Rica. Yeah, look at this. And that's my daughter, by the way, real close to the bill. So, yeah, safe, Mom. Sorry about the finger that was in the way. But, yeah, I'll never watch that video the same again or look at this photo the same again. Now I'm thinking that thing could have stabbed us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It could have happened, but that's an incredible video, Mary. That's a heck of a fish for sure. And but I mean, you got to think about that stuff. And I mean, sailfish are decent sized fish, but I mean, imagine like a 300-pound blue marlin jumping in the cockpit.
You know what? This story had me looking up a bunch of different stories like that. There are, and I don't recommend putting your image searches on when you look at this. There are lots of stories where sailfish, swordfish,
Yep.
marlin have impaled a lot of anglers. So
Oh, yeah.
it's not. This is why when you don't know what you're doing, you go with the professionals,
Go with
which
the
is
professionals.
where we were. You notice I wasn't the one picking up that sailfish out of the water.
Yeah, they're big creatures. And I mean,
Yeah.
they're known for kind of jumping around. And I mean, they'll jump right into that boat, so be careful there.
Oh, yeah.
And be careful out there this afternoon. We are tracking some thunderstorms on Doppler Max radar. We've been mostly dry today here in Augusta, but these thunderstorms really just popped up within the last hour or so for us. And actually over downtown Aiken, we're looking at a decent storm. This isn't moving too quickly. It's only moving about 10 miles an hour towards the east, but some very heavy rain over downtown Aiken, a few strikes of lightning, and potentially even seeing some wind gusts around 40 to 50 miles per hour. So heads up, Wagner. That storm is trying to make its way towards you. Same thing in Windsor as well. A little bit further west down I-20, we find us here in Augusta where we just had a little storm pop up. Now it's really fizzled out, just some light rain found right across the state line on I-20 there. Most of Columbia County is currently dry, especially in Grovetown, Harlem. But as we continue into this evening, maybe even early tonight, we could have a few stray showers and downpours out there. Not expecting anything too widespread, but just a heads up. Don't be too surprised if you do see a little bit of rain on radar even past sunset tonight. Dry start though tomorrow morning. We're going to wake up in the mid to low 70s, heating up into the most likely near 94, 93 degrees later tomorrow afternoon. Heat indices will likely be close to 100, so it's going to feel a little bit hotter tomorrow afternoon. But there you go, just an isolated storm chance Tuesday, nothing too widespread, but the isolated chances will continue through at least around sunset on Tuesday. Now the real weather story out there over the next couple of hours, just tracking these downpours. This is a current view from our Beach Island camera, but it's one of those situations to where, hey, on your side of the street you're completely dry, and then on the other side your neighbor's getting a complete gully washer. So just a heads up for these, they'll be widely scattered over the next few hours. 89 degrees right now here in Augusta, but feeling like 97, so that sticky air will be in place over the next couple of days, which also means our low temps can't really cool down too much. So we're only expecting low temps near 73, 74 by tomorrow morning, and then heading into our Tuesday afternoon, high temperature is likely going to be between 92, 93, maybe even 94 at times in a few spots. But our real weather pattern is going to be starting to change a little bit over the next couple of days. Here's a current view of water vapor. So we're on the outer rim of this upper level ridge, which is just kind of funneling down these storms towards us. Now we're going to be underneath the center of that ridge as we head towards the middle of the week. So Wednesday, Thursday, our rain chances do look to go down for us, but it means our temperatures are going to be going up. 97 Wednesday, 98 by Thursday, and likely going to stay a little bit above average even into this weekend. So be prepared for some intense heat at times. Remember, always protect your pets. Try to get those walks in early into the day or late into the evening, because we can definitely see asphalt, concrete reach those dangerous temperatures very quickly, even with air temps just near 90. We're expecting upper 90s later this week, especially Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as well. If you're trying to make those weekend plans, it looks like those storm chances do look a little bit higher Saturday and Sunday.
All right, thanks, Riley. Around the world, climate change has brought higher temperatures, extreme weather events, and even melting ice caps. Soon, climate change will show up in your freezer. Popular ice cream flavors are now endangered. Elise Preston explains why.
It's chocolate chip cookie dough day inside the factory where Ben & Jerry's makes its ice cream. Bite-sized chunks of frozen cookie dough get added, followed by chocolate chips. But climate change is threatening this popular ice cream pint and many others.
All of these flavors in the cup are endangered.
They are, because they've all got cocoa, coffee, vanilla, nuts. All of these ingredients are actually now under threat.
Cheryl Pinto is known as the sorceress at Ben & Jerry's because she sources all the raw ingredients. She says sustainable chocolate is getting harder to find. 60% of the world's chocolate comes from West Africa, where poor farmers are facing the effects of deforestation.
80-90% of the trees are gone. When you start removing the forest, you actually impact the regional weather patterns.
Researchers forecast 90% of the area in the region currently used for cocoa cultivation won't be able to grow the crop by 2050. And the type of coffee being used in 70% of worldwide coffee production can't tolerate temperatures over 73 degrees.
Unfortunately, where we grow coffee, which is more towards the equator, those areas are getting affected the most by climate change.
Plant scientist Dr. Alan Van Dyne says farmers will need to adopt new species of endangered crops.
I'm an optimist. We're finding varieties that can take the heat a little better, and some crops are going to thrive more than others.
But Van Dyne and Pinto agree new varieties will taste different and cost more to grow.
What we have to do, though, is be very aware of where our food is coming and how do we support those farmers.
She says in this warmer world, consumers should demand their cold treats are sourced well. Elise Preston, CBS News, Waterbury, Vermont.
With water in such limited supply in California, Ben & Jerry's is now considering growing almonds in Idaho. All right, everything seems to cost more right now, and that can be an added challenge on a fixed income. We look at a program designed to help. Next.
The Live by Camera Network is brought to you by Mountaineer Pest Services, the finest in men's clothing.
Ongoing economic uncertainty and rising prices, it's enough to make just about anyone uncomfortable. But for people who depend on Social Security or live on a fixed income, it can be even more challenging. Some older Americans are even coming out of retirement because they just can't make ends meet. Dawn G is here to share more about a program designed to help when times get tough.
Just about every family in America is struggling to make ends meet as inflation hits a high that most of us have never seen before. The over 40-year high in consumer prices is really stressing the fixed income that older adults and retirees depend on.
What do you do when prices are continually rising, but your income is fixed and your savings are limited? Sarah Ackerman, a Benefits Enrollment Center coordinator for benefitscheckup.org, stresses there is help. You just have to ask.
And this website finds lots of benefits they're eligible for and can tell them how to apply. It's a free service.
The site is run by the National Council on Aging and connects millions of older adults and people with disabilities with benefit programs that can help pay for health care, medicine, food, utilities, transportation, and more.
Older adults miss out on saving money simply because they don't apply or don't have access to different benefits that could serve them. There are services and benefits out there that they can use to assist in boosting their budget and getting money back in their pocket.
Inflation is at a 40-year high, creating new challenges for Americans 65 and up. Census data shows they are already more likely to live in poverty than younger Americans still in the workplace.
People are having to make those tough decisions on whether to buy certain groceries they may need versus medications or pay bills.
AARP just released its annual money-saving guide for seniors with 99 great ways to beat inflation. A few of the clever ways to cut costs. Use ground chicken instead of beef. Beef and veal prices rose the most of main food groups this year at 16%. Americans waste a lot of food. Designate an eat me first spot in your fridge for all the leftover food or overly ripe items that should be eaten immediately. Bake in the toaster oven instead of your full-size oven when you can. It keeps your home cooler and could slash the energy cost of cooking that dish by more than half.
If you are an older adult or someone with disability struggling with day-to-day bills, go right to benefitscheckup.org and check to see what's available to you by simply entering your zip code. If you do not have internet available to you, don't worry. You can call 1-800
928-9093. Helping you make ends meet. I'm Dawn G.
More than 1 million Georgians care for a parent, spouse.
Oh my, this is some interesting video out of Florida. This woman is going viral after being arrested in front of a Publix for harassing customers with a whip and a pitchfork. Apparently, she was in the store trying to sell some teddy bears, and she allegedly caused damage to a vehicle with that pitchfork. Well, she has been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and she is no longer out there with that pitchfork, Riley. But a pitchfork?
Oh man, what a story. And obviously she was outside. It looks like a thunderstorm, I'm guessing, in Florida. So that's why we always say, folks, whenever thunder roars, get indoors and you'll dodge the pitchforks out there. But pretty cool view of Beach Island here. We got a nice little downpour for downtown Aiken, and we'll continue to track a few hit and miss storms over the next several hours. We're at 89 degrees right now in Augusta, and rain chances do look a little bit lower over the next couple of days. So isolated storms for our Tuesday, but getting hotter towards the end of the week. 98 Thursday and Friday. Stick with us. Much more news just after the break.